Welcome back to YPS STEM Channel. Our planet has provided home to almost 8 billion people, but have you ever heard the saying that the Earth is getting progressively sicker as the years pass? This is referring to global warming, which is when the Earth's average temperature rises, caused by shifts in weather and, most importantly, human activities. Global warming causes climate change, which is an average pattern of weather conditions over a specific period of time, usually tracking the dryness, warmth of the air. It's important to understand that although weather and climate are related, weather changes daily, while climate is measured throughout a longer frame time. Scientifically, global warming is caused when energy sources release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, along with other greenhouse gases, such as methane, which causes the Earth to rise in temperature. As our population increases, fossil fuels like coal and oil continue to burn at a faster rate, which causes the greenhouse effect. Speaking of greenhouses, do you know what they are? It's a special house that uses transparent materials such as glass for walls and roofs. This clear glass allows the shortwave solar radiation to pass through the roofs and heat up soil and plants. Meanwhile, those radiations are reflected as long waves, which are trapped inside the house, keeping the heat from releasing. In this way, heat is accumulated within the house so that the appropriate temperature is maintained. Similarly, a huge amount of CO2 serves the same function as a greenhouse. When the rays of the sun penetrate the atmosphere, and the heat that reflects is trapped rather than escaping into space, which maintains the stable, warm temperature of the Earth. Therefore, CO2 is one of the most important ingredients in the atmosphere, as it makes it possible for the appropriate living conditions for every life on Earth. Without greenhouse gases, the temperature of the surface of the Earth will drop far below freezing point and become as cold and lifeless as the universe. However, too much greenhouse gases in the atmosphere will also cause global warming, which brings lots of damage to our lives. Global warming is not the result of a natural occurrence and is primarily caused by human activities, which include even the simplest of tasks, like using an air conditioner at home or plugging in a device. Longer processes such as cutting down trees are extremely harmful, as they regulate and absorb CO2 from the atmosphere. So removing them would trap more gas. For farming in rural areas, increasing livestock like cows is not beneficial, as their farts, burps, produce lots of methane or natural greenhouse gas, and even using fertilizers containing nitrogen is harmful. There is a strong link between global warming and industrialization. As we continued to replace people with machines, the amount of resources like coal increased rather than using wood or water, which brought enormous changes in our work efficiency, but terrible effects on our environment. From 1750 to 2005, there was a drastic increase of 100 ppm of carbon dioxide, 280 to 380, as the world energy usage expanded heavily, causing the U.S. to be first in greenhouse gas emissions. In the last 11 years, we've experienced the warmest decade ever, with the global average temperature reaching 1.1 degrees Celsius, increasing at a rate of 0.2 degrees per 10 years. It's ideal to maintain warming below 2 Celsius and limited to 1.5 Celsius. The consequences of global warming are devastating around the world, as it creates and increases the frequency of natural disasters. Recently, California and other surrounding states in the U.S. have gone through a period of abundant wildfires. These fires have placed danger on public safety and property, along with the air quality, which was the reason for most fatalities. These fires will continue to occur and worsen if there's no action done to lessen the amount of gas we let out into our atmosphere. As the climate gets warmer, the dry season extends into a long period of time, which is why it doesn't snow as often in many years. Glaciers are melting faster, which endangers many animals like seals that inhabit areas like the Arctic. The increase of temperature also impacts the ecosystem of ocean life. Do you remember our video on coral reefs? Well, we mentioned a process called bleaching, which is extremely harmful since the coral will expel algae and turn white, which leaves them at risk of death. Since we know that global warming causes warmer waters, this process will occur more often and subject coral to higher mortality rates. I would hate to see these beautiful creatures go. There have also been outbreaks of storms and droughts. Warm temperature causes evaporation to increase, which reduces water on the surface and dries out soil and vegetation. Time periods with lower precipitation become drier as climate change altered water availability. As evaporation creates more moisture in the atmosphere, rain occurs more often and is more intensified, so hold on to your umbrellas. Global warming does not just affect us physically, but mentally too. Ever realize that being warm makes you tired enough to stop working and take breaks often? Well, with the rise of global warming comes a decline in productivity. Statistically, greater rainfall and higher temperatures are linked to increased conflict and less efficiency in school or at work. Even the smallest of actions can help reduce global warming, like saving energy at home through using less heating, cooling, or using efficient appliances that don't rely on many resources. Using different methods of transport, such as biking or walking, reduces greenhouse gas emissions since gas is not required. Pollution will lessen, and it's a great source of exercise. If it's necessary to purchase a car, look into buying an electric vehicle, which runs on electricity and uses far less gases. Of course, it's very beneficial to reduce, reuse, and recycle, which lessens our garbage disposal and cleans our environment. Silly things like eating more vegetables and wasting less food can be also helpful since producing plant-based foods requires less emissions and energy. This all may seem very scary, but can be reversed with time and great effort. So next time you decide to go to the park, maybe ride your bike instead. Subscribe to our channel to learn more in the future. And as always, thanks for watching.